All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to GWR here on Thursday, November 10th, 2022. Got a pretty big show today. I'm joined by my dad, Tony Gonzalez, like always. How you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
And then we got special guest pro wrestler Casey Grimm Santos joining us. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. Thank you for having me.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, no problem,
no
man.
problem. I'll let you go
We're
first.
excited to talk to you. Well, first question right off the bat: how long have you been a professional wrestler?
I was gonna say, so I've been doing this. Been wrestling for 2 years now.
Okay.
I was gonna. It was supposed to be three, but since the whole pandemic happened and everything, in 2020, I was gonna say I was trained with Del Patrick's for a year, and then I was supposed to have my first match in around March, but then since the whole pandemic happened, and we had to like postpone everything.
How did you get interested in pro wrestling?
I was when I was a kid. That's when I got into it. Like watching back when it was like WWF is when I got into it and everything. But after watching like Eddie Guerrero's match, with him going against Brock Lesnar, I mean, seeing him doing it, and it made me like get into it. But I was gonna say like I was into it as a kid, and then around high school I dropped it because a lot of people have been telling me you can't, like, no one's gonna take you serious because, for one, because of the way I looked, my height, the body shape and everything, and so I kind of dropped it. But after rewatching Eddie's matches and watching Rey Mysterio's matches and seeing a lot of guys in the independent wrestling about my height, my size, and these guys did a lot of the impossible.
Yeah.
It made me want to be like, okay, well, these guys can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, a lot of different body shapes, body sizes. I mean, Dusty Rhodes wasn't the most muscular guy in the world, but I mean,
It's true.
seen what he did. So I mean, there's all kinds of different styles and types of bodies and everything. So and that makes it interesting. You don't want everybody to look the same. So you said you was trained by Dale Patrick's.
Yes, sir.
How was that being trained by Dale Patrick's? I've heard a lot of good things about him. I know the performer he is.
Yeah, I was trained with Dale and everything. It was actually very fun. But I got a lot of great advice from him when I started training, and when I was training with him and stuff, like, he gave me a lot of advice. Because the first thing he asked me, like, why am I in this business for? And I told him, like, the one thing is, like, I want to see what it's like, to take a bumps and everything, and see what it's like, and to see what it's like to walk out here all bruised up, sore, and everything. And the one thing he told me was like, well, if that's what you're here for, you're in the right spot. If you're just here for the fame and money, then you're in the wrong business. But I was also trained by New Era Academy as well.
Okay. So how was that experience compared to Dale Patrick's? I'm probably two different styles, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Damian Michael Cole and Aaron Anarchy, there's a lot of things that I learned from, like with the cardio and everything. And believe me, I'm not a cardio kind of person, so. But yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot different from like learning like different moves that Dale hasn't taught me, and then with New Era teaching me like all the other stuff. Like, okay, well, I didn't learn this one or how to do like the flare flop or in a lot of bumps.
When you go to them training, like with Dale, was it like one-on-one or was it like a class?
Yeah, I was gonna say with Dale, it was at first it was like four of us. It was myself. It was Bastard Cassidy. Then it was Logan Couture and Aaron Atlas. Those two graduated early. Those two graduated first, and then Bastard Cassidy took his decided to train somewhere else, and then afterwards it just led to me and Jason Wild, and we graduated from his class, and then afterwards, compared to New Era, it's like a class.
Okay. Now that you're in the business and having the matches, is it hard to? I mean, are you still going? Do you still go like the New Era to train? Or
I still go
do you
there.
still try to get training in?
I still go there sometimes, like with my work schedule and everything. You know, it's like I'm trying to go back to like the morning shifts and stuff it's like so I can go back to training with them and stuff. But yeah, like I was gonna say with Damian Cole, I mean he's a really cool guy. You know, like because when I had my match with TJ Kemp at AWR, you know, I asked for his critiques, and he was like, yeah, you know, there's some things you need to work on, and you know what, if you want to learn, you can come, you can come, to the, you can come to New Era, and so I did, and you know, he welcomed me to the New Era Academy, learn some stuff, and but I mean, like I said, I've been wrestling for 2 years, and I still got a lot to learn in the business.
What's been the hardest thing for you to learn so far? For you personally, I'm sure it's different for everybody.
I was gonna say like memorizing my match and like trying to be a little loose in the ring, because like like I can memorize a spot, and then next thing you know, once I'm in the ring, it's like, oh, like what do I do next? I it's like I freeze all of a sudden.
What's the hardest bump to take?
The hardest bump would probably be a power bump. And I was gonna say, because I remember having a match, and I don't remember how, but I had a match with Mitch Onyx at AWR, and I don't remember what it was that knocked me out for a split second, but I remember it was the kick or the power bomb, but one of them like knocked me out afterwards, and I didn't remember how, but the only thing, I woke up and I remember the referee just doing the little medical help, and next thing you know, I was walked backstage and they took my mask, and I was like, well, what happened? I was like, yeah, it's like, you were not.
Got your bell rung.
Well, and that's probably one of the hardest things is on a lot of them bumps is keeping your head tucked where it don't whip back. And so I think a lot of fans don't realize that the wrestling ring's not soft. It's not the steel and plywood, and maybe a real little thin mat on top of the plywood. I mean, I've been in there. I've never wrestled, but I've been inside the ring and I've seen them set it up. So
the things that you're doing are not natural.
Yeah,
it's not natural for your body to do those things. And so if you don't tuck your head and stuff, and your head slapping around and your brain slapping around your head, it don't take that much to knock you in the next week.
No, and you can even see guys that aren't even like in the business just for a couple of years, like you. You can see guys on TV sometimes that when they go to take a bump that they don't get their head, and you can see it whip back, and you can see that it affects them. No, you're right. Damian Michael Cole, he's a good dude. We've been to New Era a couple times. We're actually going to be there at their next show on the 19th. Him and Aaron Anarchy, I think, are both great guys.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Who was your first match, and when was your first match?
My first match was in October. I was gonna say my first opponents were Jason Wilde and Ian Drake. And that happened at AWR. So me and Jeremiah both graduated from the class, and we had our match that day.
How many different promotions have you wrestled in so far?
So far I wrestled at AWR. I wrestled with New Era, ZPW. Trying to remember what else. I did wrestle at Summit for like 2 matches over there.
We've seen it with Warrior Pro, haven't we?
Yeah, Warrior Pro.
Warrior Pro Wrestling. Yep, one of them. That's another one too. Then there was the last company that I wrestled at, a company that shall not be named, and that's something I don't want to count as a promotion I wrestled for.
Okay.
I can understand that. We have one company like that as well.
Yeah, we went to, and not that we had a bad experience, but we seen some things go on, and we decided we didn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention JICW. I wrestled for JICW too.
Is that in JICW? Is that Martinsville?
Yes, that one's in Martinsville. That one's it was actually a fun experience wrestling over there. To be honest,
we haven't made it there yet. Well, I'd like to go there. AWR, I'd like to go check that out. We haven't been to AWR show yet.
Sounds like you're getting around. I mean, to quite a few promotions for just a couple of years. What do you attribute that to? Is it connections, or sometimes being in the right spot?
I was gonna say sometimes I just just go to wrestling shows and I just like introduce myself and let them know who I am and which shows I've been training at, what two places I've trained at, and how many experience I've been in. Because sometimes I like to like introduce myself, let them know like, hey, like I'm interested in wrestling for a show, and if you need me to, be a ring crew or set up, tear down, or be security, I'm willing to. And it's just something like I like to do is like pay my dues and
paying your dues and doing it old school. So and probably a lot of those promoters appreciate that.
I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah, because I think some people do it, but then some people don't think they need to do it. So I think you paying your dues, that's probably helping.
And some people would just want to. They'll make like social media posts and put it that, hey, I'm looking for bookings.
You grind.
And I know just from talking to some of the promoters, especially the old school guys, they really like it when a guy does exactly what you just said. Show up at the show personally, introduce yourself in person, and I know a lot of the old school promoters that's the way they prefer.
Yeah,
so it's glad to hear that you do it that way, because I know there's some that just put stuff on social media and they expect the promoter to reach out to them. And I know a lot of these old school guys, they're not going to reach out. They won't reach out to you because, I mean, that's just how they are. They expect you to come to the show.
Yeah, and that's what Dale taught me when I first started training. And he was like, just come in here, pay your dues, introduce yourself, and and then if the because the promoters will see, how that you're interested and that you love this business and stuff, and there's a lot of things that he told me, like like, because you're a trainee, and you just let them know like, hey, like you could say no, but if you say no, it's gonna kind of like look bad, like, oh well, I told one of your trainees like, hey, I told him, I gave him a task, he just didn't want to do it, but and it's one of those things where I don't want them to have a grudge for it or anything like that. And like I said, because when I was as a trainee back at the time, I I always said yes. Like they gave me like one time I was I was like at Bizarro Lucha, and they gave me like one tiny little job, and I was like to flip the switch for a certain wrestler that was gonna come out, and I was like, all right, cool, and he appreciated for the and stuff, and I realized like, well, I think sometimes people do appreciate the little things that they do.
What promotion did you say?
Bizarro Lucha.
Where's it? Is that in Indiana?
Yeah, it was in Indiana, and I think they stopped for a reason. I don't know why, but but now I was gonna say that one promotion, I think Flophouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's where Bizarro Lucha did their show at over there at the Indiana Brewery, but then I don't know, I guess they stopped, or I don't know why. So I was like,
I was just wondering because I hadn't heard. And you mentioned another promotion I hadn't heard of, ZPW. Where's that located?
That one is located in the Franklin Tournament Jiu-Jitsu. It's
yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, you have. Okay.
It's
as soon as he said Franklin, I knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, it's owned by Vinny Ratlock.
Okay.
He runs that show. I did like 2 shows over there. One of them was the dojo, which that one it was really fun to do with. It was me and Bruisador Violencia and against I guess Chaos. Forgot their tag team name. It's with Chris Chaos.
Bulletproof Posse.
Bulletproof Posse. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you guys are watching this, I'm sorry.
yeah.
But yeah, no, those guys are pretty cool too. And but it was like what it was. It was just like a mat, like no ring or anything. It was just like what it was. Like it was a little interesting. What it was like, we, both teams, like one team stands on a little square mat, and so we just tag in or whatever, and that was it. And there's like no rules.
That'd be interesting. That'd be something different. I mean,
real quick, we got Marcus Fine said, "Good evening, gentlemen." Kelly Fine said, "Good hi." Hey, real quick, Marcus and Kelly, we appreciate all the support you give us. You guys are great.
Really appreciate it.
Then Jinsky 2012 asked if he has not already said, who was the wrestler that made you want to become a wrestler?
Kind of said, but he can go ahead and say it again.
I was gonna say, like, the wrestler that made me become a wrestler was, like I said, like Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. Those were the 2 that got me into it. But when I got more into like outside of the WWE area was like New Japan. Marty Scurll was one of them because like he's not muscular or anything. He's not like in the league. But Austin Aries was one of them because like when I saw that he became a belt collector.
I don't know. Sorry about that. Although his phone started going.
We had a brief. Tommy Dreamer made an appearance on the show.
Oh, very fine. But yeah, no. I was gonna say Austin
Sorry
Aries
about
was another wrestler I liked to see because he had like he was collecting all these belts and like I was like thinking like wow like this dude is like not a 200-pound guy and he's over here collecting world titles and everything, which is impressive.
Hi Mickey, thanks thanks for joining us.
Hey Mickey.
What's been the hardest thing about the wrestling business so far? Is it getting your name out there, or is it getting to different promotions? What do you think has been the hardest part of it?
The hardest thing was like it's like getting my name out there and stuff. But it's like one of those things where like I'm trying to like try to help out and stuff, and I'm trying to like get booked and stuff, and that's like the hardest part. Is like they see it, but it's like I need and I get where they're coming from, where they say I need to get a few more seasons in and stuff because I mean I'm only been wrestling for 2 years and stuff, but I mean but at the same time I still want to show them what I got to offer and what I can do.
What's been the favorite match that you've been in so far?
Favorite match I would say so far I would say is me going against Cronus the Berserker. That was one of my favorite matches. Then I was gonna say another one would be me and Bruisador Violencia going against this Chaos Disciple, those two clowns.
Yeah.
That wrestle with this, and try to figure out. I was gonna say I think the pre-show that me and Jason Wild had as well. That was one of my favorite matches.
That was a Warrior Pro, right?
Summit
Pro, yeah, Summit Pro.
Yeah, Summit.
I've seen you at both. I've seen you at both, so I got it confused. But yeah, Summit. I remember the match. Jisky 2012 said Casey wanted to let you know me, Danny, and Skylar are so proud of you, and you're such a great person for him to look up to.
Oh, thank you. I was gonna say I met them through WCWO with Jenny, Danny, and Skylar, and I was gonna say they're great people. I was gonna say how we have like people like Marcus Fine and his wife Kevin Fine, because without them, we wouldn't be where we're at today. And it's what's funny is like I don't come out when like the show may be over, but sometimes there's like some fans still out there. But I make sure like there's no fans out there because I keep my mask on,
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. I was gonna say you guys and Marcus and his wife and Jenny, Danny, and Skylar are the only people that know who I am without my mask and stuff. Yeah. But I was gonna say, I met those guys at WCWO, and they've been very supportive with everything that I've accomplished and done in the wrestling business. And I was gonna say, and Skylar is one of the big supporters that I've done.
Yeah, and that's actually where we met you at the first time was at WCWO. You were there just watching the show.
Yeah, that's first time.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you think you need to work on?
I was gonna say, well, definitely cardio. I was gonna say, remember to my spot, but just trying to get looser a little bit in a match and stuff, and not like freeze up all the time.
One thing I haven't seen you do so far is cut promos. Have you done very much of that?
I have. I was gonna say, like, I know. I've been asking a lot of like veterans a lot and everything. Like, like when they cut promos, some of them might be a natural edit. Some struggle where I've been at because like when it comes to me cutting promos, like I'm in the moment. I'm feeling it. Next thing, all of a sudden, I'm like, I freeze up all the or I stutter or slur with and usually it takes me about like 50 takes to record one, and then I'm like, well, at least we're getting there and stuff. But some people might take it, just takes the first take or two. People who've been doing this longer, but for me, it like takes me about 50. If it takes me to 100, you know, but I'm the type of person that wants to make sure I I cut a good promo, make it believable, and make these fans, like I'm being like I mean it.
I think one thing about the promos is the more you do it, you get better at it. It's just like you said, getting comfortable. Because even when we first started doing the Gonzo Sports Room stuff, and the first time I sat down in front of the mic and camera for like our first episode, I had everything wrote down like what I want a plan, but that plan basically went out the window. It was just like, oh, okay, now. But now that I've done it for about a year and a half, I've gotten a lot more comfortable at it.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing I think with what you're saying in the ring. The more ring time you get, then you'll start getting it where you're not freezing up or overthinking. It just starts getting more natural a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like and I've been noticing because when I'm like a face, I get I'm all comfortable, like I interact with these fans, but like hype them up, like yeah, but as a heel, I'm like trying to say something, but like my comebacks are not the best comebacks, and then if I say something mean or something, and then I apologize at the end, it's like I was like it's kind of hard being mean and everything, but I gotta go apologize at the end because
So I say I was going to ask you that, but you just basically answered it for me. I'd say you'd rather be a face.
Yeah, pretty
Right
much.
now.
It's a lot more easier, and I'm like because in the ring, like in the wrestling business and outside the wrestling business, I'm a pretty chill guy, and but it's like you put me as a heel, I'm like, and I got to be mean about it and stuff, and I'm like, and it's kind of hard for me because like I'm not I'm not an asshole in real life, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on the podcast or anything.
Oh no, you're fine.
No, you're fine.
It takes you out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah. I was gonna say what's funny was I had a match with Jason Wilde at Summit Pro with Mother May I, and I was telling him I was like, hey, and I told him I was like, hey, are you okay with me trash talking to your mom? And he was like, yeah, no, go ahead. I was like, all right, cool. And then and I said some things to her. I was like, he was on the floor, and I said, and what I said to her was like, where's Mama Day? I was like, where's Mama Wild? I was like, that's your son. Like, you know what? You should have. I was like, you should have wrapped it up or swallowed. And someone made her, and like, oh, and then afterwards, I'm like, I kind of felt bad. Now I was like, and then I saw his sister. I was like, hey, and I saw his sister, and I was like, I am terribly sorry for what I said to your mom. I'm like, yeah, and she just walked off. I'm like, all right, cool.
What's one thing that you love about being a pro wrestler, and one thing that you maybe don't like?
I was gonna say one thing I love about it is like I get to like be myself. I can actually I actually get to be like who I want to be and everything. But also like to make an impact to the kids and stuff because like when I like I said because when I was in high school and everything, people told me like, oh, you can't, how are you gonna be a pro wrestler when you're short, out of shape, or they're like, or when they told me like, oh, WWE's not gonna take you serious because I mean they're not looking for a short guy or anything. They're looking for someone who's physique, tall, good looking type deal, like Vince McMahon's ideal wrestler. But it's one of those things where like my goal is to like impact these kids and show them like, hey, like wow, like he can do it. He beat a lot of guys twice his size, and he actually like not afraid to get in the ring with people who are twice his size, stronger than him, and stuff like that. And that's my goal is to do something like that.
Yeah,
and
things
hopefully
things have changed in WWE because I mean Vince is no longer there, and
yeah, that's one thing about it.
I've seen they're out scouting independent shows again, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's one of those things because like when I met Rey Mysterio for the first time at the airport when I was like working there, and when I met him, like I mean like when I say I marked out so bad right now, and it was funny because like I was behind the register and I was like ringing someone out, and I saw his son Dominic, and when I was like, and I told him I was like, hey, I rung him out, and I saw his tattoos on the knuckles. I was like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, like, what does your knuckles say? And then when he put them together and it said Mysterio, and I freaked out. I was like, oh my god, dude, you're freaking Dominic Mysterio. I was like, dude, I'm like huge, but dude, your dad like made an impact in and stuff. And he was like, well, he was like, and Dominic was like, well, you kind of missed him, you know. I was like, wait, he left already? He was like, no. No, he's just saying now. That's one underwater, but I mean, if you have a chance, he's right there, and I was like over here saying, man, if my colleague doesn't show up, I'm about losing. And he showed up right on time. I was like, all right, cool, dude, I'm leaving. It's like, why? It's like, dude, my hero's right there. I'm leaving. Bye. But yeah, as soon as I saw Rey Mysterio, like my heart was dropping. I was running out of breath. I was like, oh my god. And then like I told him, I went up to Ray and I was like, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm like a huge fan. I'm sorry, like I'm running out of breath. I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm forgetting how to breathe. If I cry, I'm so sorry. And he was like, and of course Ray with the little voice and everything, he's like, hey, it's okay. You know, take your time, calm down. You know, take a breather. And we had like a full blown conversation. And I was telling him, like, you know, how he impacted my life and how Eddie did the same thing too. And he was impressed when I told him about when I like talked about his whole wrestling career and everything, like from the WCWO days to like WWE to like to the one time he wrestled in All In.
Yep.
But yeah,
You probably remember.
Yep.
And then let's see, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
Is there something that you don't like about the wrestling business?
I was gonna say the one thing I don't like is like how people forget where they're coming from and stuff. Like you start off from training, you start off from like and everything, but then when you get to bigger places and stuff, and then now it's like they think like some of them think they're better than everybody, but it's like sometimes you're forgetting where where you're coming from. You used to be that one kid, and stuff, like you were training and people might treat you differently, and it's like it's one of those things, like people have like those egos in the locker room and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of egos, now in your experience, like you said, like some of the like you wrestle your match. If you go back in the locker room, will some of the guys with more experience will they kind of give you a critique on the match, or are they more stay to themselves?
I was gonna say sometimes like I'll go and ask them for their critiques and stuff, but like some of them might have like, and I understand, like you're like memorizing your match or trying to focus on your match and stuff, which that's understandable. But I never had any issues like that in the locker room. Like but like that's one of the things. Like I'll ask one of the veterans for advice and stuff, and like mostly like I'll ask Hillbilly Jed, because he has like a lot of great advice and a lot of critiques, like even like the little things. TJ Kemp as well. He'll nitpick on the little things. Like even when I was training with him before, and he'll like nitpick on one thing. He's like like he'll be like, that's good, but there's one thing I want to nitpick on it. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, okay, and it's a lot, and it's one of those things. It's one of the things I like to take is like critique, and for them to even if it's like the little thing, or even like just a little, like just a tiny bit of like a mistake that I made, and stuff, and that way I can learn from it.
What's the best piece of advice that you've got from a pro wrestler, and who was it? If you don't care to say.
I don't mind saying. I was gonna say recently, the best advice that I got from Hillbilly Jed recently, and it was actually something that I actually learned and stuff, because they were talking, and like from what he said was like, you don't need to lose weight to be a better wrestler. To be a better wrestler, it's like you got to practice and work your ass off to be a better wrestler, and all that stuff. And I'm like, actually, like now I'm like, he all that stuff is true. Like I was like, then that's what he said and everything. I'm like, that's the best advice that I'm gonna like keep and everything. And then another great advice that I got from Rey Mysterio was like, don't let people tell you what you can do and can do. and don't drop your dreams or anything. Just keep going, training harder, and keep going forward and don't give up.
Did the favorite pro wrestler, but besides Eddie and Rey Mysterio, do you have any other favorite wrestlers?
I was gonna say my other favorite wrestlers is I was gonna say my favorite wrestlers would be like the Ultimo Dragon, Justin Liger, Penta, La Parca, and I was gonna say G.W.R and Psychosis.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all good ones. Yeah. Favorite matches that from pro wrestling from back in the day, or even recently that you've seen.
I was gonna say back then. I was gonna say back then when it was AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. I think this. I don't remember what pay per view it was, but it was supposed to be when it was supposed to be Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. But instead they got instead they got AJ Styles instead.
Okay.
That was another good match of mine, and then I will say Andrade and Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
It's one of my favorites.
Yep.
And
what? Oh, go ahead.
Trying to remember what else, but I was gonna say recently one of my favorite matches was Orange Cassidy and Bastard Pac.
Yeah, that was a good match. Also, a favorite Eddie Guerrero match.
Well, besides Brock Lesnar and Eddie, I was gonna Rey Mysterio and Eddie at the Halloween Havoc. Was one of my favorite matches.
Yeah, that's hard to beat. That match here is hard to beat. That's the one where Ray wore the Phantom?
Yeah, that was he wore like the whole one piece suit and everything.
Yeah, purple Phantom. Yeah, that was awesome. Yep.
Yeah, this dude here. He watches that. If he watches wrestling Monday through Sunday, he watches every TV show. He don't miss it. So
before I came in here, I was watching Crown Jewel again. So.
Yeah.
Gary Emmett said, "Mr. Casey, great talent with a bright future."
Oh, thank you, Miss Gary. I was gonna
Gary,
say
Gary will actually be on the show here in a couple weeks. He's gonna be on the show. So
yeah,
he's been on once already. But he's gonna come back on and talk about the big AWR show they have coming up on the 25th.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a good one. I saw the card and everything, and I was gonna say Gary's he's like one of the chillest people to like talk to and hang out with, and he's I was gonna say he's like also one of the people that they'll check on their guys, see if everything's okay. If I think one time I said I was on the comment, I was like, yeah, I'm not myself, I'm just whatever, and Gary offered open doors and hands and stuff, like like he was like, well, like if you need someone to talk to, I'm one phone call away and everything. So it's actually great to excuse me. It's actually great to to know, like not only does he care about the show and everything, but he also cares about his talent and stuff. And I mean, like I was gonna say, like that day, like that night, I got knocked out and everything with at that show, and Gary like stopped everything, and which Gary, I'm sorry that you lost your blunt that night. He lost it, and just to go check up on me and see if I'm okay and stuff. I was like, yeah, and then after things calmed down, he was like, you made me lose my blunt for this. I was like,
Marcus Fine says, if you like matches like that, check out Tiger Mask versus Eddie Gilbert, WWF Madison Square Garden match, early 80s.
Yes, I remember that match. That is a good one. Definitely check that out.
Okay.
With your experience, like different promotions you go to, are most of the locker rooms the same, or locker rooms different from promotion to promotion?
I was gonna say from locker experience, like some of them are the same and stuff. It's like if like you go to different promotions and you see the people that you see from different promotions. Now you feel comfortable, crack a few jokes and stuff. but some of them involve like a lot of drama and everything, and it's just not something I like or can't stand sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say because like yeah, I was gonna say one of the one of the stuff I one of the stuff I was like was is just the crazy drama that I can't stand and stuff, and it's like one of those things where I'm like, great, now it's like I gotta go stop this person, I gotta go stop the other person and stuff. It's just yeah.
Have you had any you don't have to like say promotions or anything, but have you had any like bad experiences at promotions? I know I've
Uh,
heard you hear horror stories sometimes about independent wrestling, but like most of the people we talk to, they really haven't. They said
Yeah.
they haven't dealt with that as much. I know, like all the promotions we've been to, everybody's treated us great,
Yeah, we haven't had any problems. Like I said, we went to one promotion that there were some issues,
and
that
we wouldn't ever go back. But it wasn't because of the
but
way
one because of the way they treated us. It was just a
it was more what the way they treated talent.
talent, and it was just a wreck.
yeah, I was gonna say it was just like that locker room drama at the Martinsville show, and it was like like everybody started drama and everything, and I was like, well, now I gotta go stop this person, I gotta go, But other than that, I mean, that was like the one bad experience I had over there. But afterwards, like the Steven came up to me, he was like, listen, I am so sorry, Casey. Like this is not, this is not something that we normally do and stuff. I was like, no, you're good. I mean, I was like, sooner or later, eventually, something like this is gonna happen,
Yeah, yeah.
and so on.
Is there any promotions that you haven't wrestled in yet here in Indiana that you're wanting to get to?
I've been wanting to wrestle with like New Wave Pro Wrestling, and like like over there, like I'm also like I be doing doing security over there, and that's one of the promotions I want to wrestle was the New Wave. Um, I also there's like some other like there's like other like Flophouse that I want to wrestle at too, and there's like other promotions I want to wrestle in Ohio. Like I heard there's like some great promotions in Ohio too.
Okay, yeah. Have you wrestled anywhere out of state yet?
No. I was gonna say I did referee once in Tennessee, and that was when I was traveling with Dale Patricks and Brett Havoc, and they had a match
Actually,
over
that was
there.
a nice road trip with them too.
Yeah, them too.
Yeah, they had a yeah. It was a well, it was fun and all, but it was like one of those things. Like I guess because like I don't know how to like start a conversation with him. Like
Yeah.
Brett's cool. He's a really cool guy, and then Dale is like really funny and everything. But like I don't know what it was that I was like I don't know what it was like. I guess I either got homesick or just it wasn't like because like I told I was telling one of my friends or told one of my family I was like like after traveling everything made me realize I want to quit. I was like I thought it was gonna be fun, but I guess it wasn't. And then until someone was like, well maybe it's I was like maybe it's not the business, maybe it's like something you want to like you probably want to you probably aren't traveling with the right people. And I'm like, maybe you're right. You're probably right. It's probably not the right people I'm traveling with or so. And like, I love them both. Like, I love Brett and I love Dale. But I don't know. It's like as soon as like it was just weird because as soon as I got back from Indiana, I was like happy. I was like relieved and everything. And so, but um, but when I was traveling with with Kevin Yor and Doc Dixon, which he you know, he used to go by Angelo Gallaretto. But yeah, I was like after trying with them, it was a lot of fun. It was more, like a lot of fun trying with those guys. And so
Yeah, everybody's got different personalities, and so some personalities don't mix, and that's not a knock on anybody. That can be with Chris might like somebody, and be friends with that may not be my cup of tea. You know how that goes. So I mean, it's
yeah,
just part. I'm sure, and there's so many different personalities in the business, so it's probably hard to get the right mix.
Have you ever wrestled at WCWO?
no, I haven't. Um, I was gonna say it's like a little iffy with WCWO. I was gonna say some of the I it wasn't. I don't know. It's just not the same as like how it was back then. When Basher was there, it was really fun, and stuff. Like they bring all these great talent and everything. Like Nate Matthew was there at the time. Josh Crane, Ace Perry, Dale Patricks, of course, Hillbilly Jed. Um, I was gonna say there's like so many talents that like Braden Lee that was there, and it was just like great matches. And then like now it's just I don't know what happens. Like it's just not the same anymore, and I kind of like stopped going because like I guess some of the fans were a little too harsh and stuff. And I'm like, well, I was like, because I was afraid like if I go in there and like I don't know, I'm afraid like one fan's gonna say something that I'm not gonna like and stuff, and I had that one experience in Tipton, Indiana, where me and another luchador were wrestling, and then we were wrestling, and I guess like one fan, well, one of the opponents was like arguing with the ref and counting in Spanish, and one fan was like, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. You're in America, speak English. I'm like, and I promise, like I was getting ready to stop what I was doing and just like either I don't know what I was gonna do. Either I was gonna like either punch this guy in the face or just yell at him or something. But I was like, you know what? Now I'm just gonna ignore it, finish my match, and then just leave after that.
What's your ultimate goal in the wrestling business? What would be like your end game?
My goal is to at least to win a championship belt at least. But also, yeah, I was gonna say like that's like a goal I want to accomplish, just to at least win a championship match, and then also be sponsored by Red Bull. But you know, hopefully Red Bull's watching this.
What do you? I always ask the wrestlers this. What do you think about AEW?
I was gonna say I haven't kept up with AEW, but whenever I get a chance to see it, it's like I've been seeing some great matches and stuff, and so like, I was actually excited that that one of my like favorite groups are in AEW, Los Ingobernables, with Rush and Andrade like afterwards, and then seeing Bandino and Thunder Rosa, but also like and I was gonna say it's I've been seeing that they're getting better and stuff, but whenever I get the chance, I'll watch it, and then if not, I'll just watch the replay or whatever on YouTube.
You watch any of WWE or stuff?
Here and there sometimes, just to see, just see what I missed out and everything. But I was gonna say another great match that on Raw that I saw was Dolph Ziggler and Chad Gable.
Yes.
And so that was a great match, like because like I know those two did like were had a have an amateur background and stuff,
Yeah,
but
both of them was real good amateur wrestlers.
yeah, that was a great match. But one of my favorite moments in the wrestling business in Raw was Chad Gable suplexing Braun Strowman.
Yes. Yeah, that was just very recent. It was pretty awesome.
That
I remember you saying something to me about it. Cause see, that's where I mean he's always watched pro wrestling. I've watched it, but not as much as him. But my background and his is amateur wrestling. We was big in amateur wrestling. I wrestled all the way through high school. I coached high school wrestling for what 10 years, and we ran a wrestling club and stuff. We watched like Dolph Ziggler and them guys wrestle when they were amateurs. I remember watching Brock Lesnar wrestle for a national title in college. He looked like a man out there against boys.
Yeah, no, and I was
it's cool to see the amateur guys move over to like WWE and some of the other promotions.
Yeah, and I was gonna say because I did that I did amateur wrestling in middle school and high school back myself, and I miss that sport, and I was gonna say it's kind of like sad and shame that I forgot how to do the moves and stuff, but it was really fun and everything, and then like their cardio was like no joke.
Oh yeah.
No.
Well, what school did you wrestle here in Indiana in amateur wrestling?
Yeah, I did. I was gonna say when because in middle school I did it. I was in Lincoln Middle School when I did it, and then and Pike High School.
Okay, Pike. Okay. Yeah, I wrestled at Muncie Southside, but and I coached for like 10 years. I actually got the opportunity to coach under the spotlight in a championship match.
And the guy won.
Yeah, guy won. Almost dropped me on my head after the match. he picked me up, celebrated, almost flipped me over top of him. And that was cool because that kid that won, we had been helping coach since he was
3 or 4 years old.
since he was 3 or 4 years old. He
Yes.
wrestled in our club, and then I got an opportunity to coach him in high school as well, which was pretty cool. Did you when you were a kid? I know you said like you watched Guerrero and Mysterio. Did you watch a lot of pro wrestling?
Oh yeah, like big time. I was gonna say because of course on Monday you have Monday Night Raw, and then they and then you have like it's kind of weird because they
Was
moved.
you a WCW fan?
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say because I was gonna say back then because I didn't have a computer or anything. I didn't have I didn't have a computer or anything to watch but recently now it's like okay now that I had smartphones and everything I can watch some of the old WCW matches and stuff. But I was gonna say because I was gonna say because as a kid I watched Monday Night Raw on Mondays, and then sometimes they'll switch SmackDowns on Thursdays. If not, they'll go move to Fridays. But I think I'm trying to remember what days they showed it, but they also showed it TNA Impact all the time.
Yep.
And those were fun too. Watching TNA, it was that's what maybe watch guys like AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Beer Money, and Motor City Machine Guns. Those are one of my favorite people in TNA.
And my son got real big on TNA there for a while, so I watched quite a bit of it because I used to get the pay-per-views for him.
TNA was very underrated. I mean, they was a really good promotion.
My favorite was ECW.
ECW was
besides
awesome.
WWE or WCW. ECW was always one of my favorites to watch.
Oh yeah, no, and I've been watching on it too, and it was I was gonna say anybody in the ECW would be a Sabu. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Sabu.
RVD, Tommy Dreamer, New Jack, and all them.
The first pay-per-view they had.
Yeah.
ECW had. I don't know if you watched it, but man, it was awesome. It was. I still remember some of it now, and I haven't watched it for years, but it was awesome.
It was just groundbreaking. It was just so different than anything out there. Yeah. I mean, it might not have been for everybody, but it was different, and I think it was pretty cool.
But what would be your dream, your dream match?
In the independents or in
both.
I was gonna say my dream match. I was gonna say my dream match would be with either with Don't Die Miles, Justin Kyle. I would love to have a match, a one-on-one match with Hillbilly Jed. I'm just a sucker for big guy little guy match. It's fun to do it because like I said, when I was in a match with Kronos, he's a big guy, I'm a little guy, and it's just something about it. I don't know what it is. I can do something and show people I can fight back and stuff.
But Hillbilly Jed's probably one of the best bigger guys around.
Yeah, I've been in a ring with Hillbilly Jed. I was in the Summit Pro with the whole Battle Royal.
Yep.
And stuff, but I also had I was also in a match in a way, but it was a 3-on-1 handicap. It was myself, Raiden Carter, and Nerd Nelson.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he has it's a long name.
Nelson Edward Doolittle the Third or something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, Hillbilly Jed I like to get in the ring with.
Oh,
trying to figure out who else I would like to have a match. rematch with, but
Marcus Fong or Marcus Fong. Marcus Fong.
Marcus Fong.
Oh man, I hit the wrong button. That bell.
No.
Marcus Fong said Casey versus Congo Kong.
yeah, that would be fun actually. I can see myself going against Congo and everything.
Sorry, Marcus.
I told him to start calling Marcus from now on. Marcus Fong.
Oh, God.
I'm never calling him Marcus Fong ever again.
I went to put his comment up, and somehow I hit a button, the wrong button. It went to Twitter.
Yeah.
And I came back. I was all out of it. What would be like your dream match against like a guy that's been like a name, whether they're dead or alive? Just like if you had an opportunity to wrestle and you got by anybody that's been like WWE or been on TV.
Anybody on TV? Well, obviously, you know, like I would love to be in the ring with Rey Mysterio or team up with him. I was gonna say I would love to be in the match with Chris Jericho. Like it's like I've seen his matches, like I mean, like back like when it was like from his WCW days to like WWE to New Japan and AEW.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm a big Jericho fan.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and then also I was gonna say like I would also love to be in a ring with Low Key.
Yeah, Low Key's really good.
Yeah, I seen his like matches like from the like back in like the MLW days, like the old MLW.
Yeah.
To Impact to like TNA match to like TNAs and stuff. Yeah, he's like one of the good ones too. But I would love to be in a ring with G.W.R.
Yeah, Low Key was actually in WWE for a little while.
When he was
part of the NXT before, you know, when they was doing it on TV during the Raws and stuff. I think he could have been good, but you know, it didn't work out.
Before we get out of here, tell people where they can find you at social media stuff, or if you have merch or any of that, plug all your stuff.
Got your matches coming up?
Your matches coming up, all that. Let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, I was gonna say merch. I'm working on that one. I'm trying to think of an idea. It's not easy coming up with ideas on merch, but on Facebook, you know, you guys can find me on CASY Grimm Santos, and then on Instagram, you can find me on their Misfit Lucha _13. But I was gonna say some of the upcoming matches I have would would be New Era on November 19th. I'll be there. And
we'll be at that show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then other promotions, I have no idea. I know I have one this Sunday with Wrestle with This, and I was gonna say, and then with Warrior Pro, I have no idea. So we're still trying to figure that out. But I was gonna say, but I'll definitely be at the New Era on November 19th.
I was gonna say we might see you twice that weekend because we have Warrior Pro the next day. Bruce said he's seen Low Key live in IWA Mid South.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the hardest chopper ever.
He can. Yeah, he's pretty hard. He's a really smaller guy, but he's a physical smaller guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually one of the hardest chops I felt throughout the business would be Damian Cole, Calvin Tankman. I was gonna say Mitch Onyx was another one, but I will admit though, Hillbilly Jet has like one of the hardest hams ever out there too.
Yeah, he'll lay them forearms.
Yeah, it was funny because there's a funny story too, because after that 3-on-1 handicap match, when he gave me like that forearm ham to the back and everything, I didn't know he left a mark there, but a lot of people like, dude, like, did you owe Jet money? I was like, what do you mean? And then they're like, have you seen your back? I was like, no. And Jet saw it and he was like, do I owe you money? I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, I didn't know you left it there, but I was like, I guess. I was like, if I messed up with something, I'm sorry.
I've took 3 chops after the first show we done that we went and commentated. DCCW, they called us out. There's another podcast there as well, and that guy got in there, and the guy gave him just a real little chop, wasn't very hard. Well, then they started calling our podcast out, and it was me. What you met Eric that night at WCWO, but unfortunately he passed away about a week and a half ago. Or actually, no, they makes 2 weeks. But it was me, him, and my cousin Stevie, the other guy that started it with me, and them two. Stevie ran and hid, and Eric took off the other direction. So I went down there, and I walk with a cane and stuff. So I went in there, so fuck it, I'll do it. And Dexter Royal chopped me first, and then Joey Owens chopped me. And I'll tell you what, dude, I ain't gonna lie, it dropped me to my knees.
Yeah, it did.
And then I got back up, and Max Sterling gave me a chop.
Max Sterling got you.
And dude, my chest was purple for a week. Blue, purple. You could see a hand mark.
It took 2 weeks for it to completely.
Yeah, 2 weeks before it was completely gone. But tell you what, a chop from JKO ain't no joke.
No, I heard. I thought I was gonna get chopped that day at the Warrior Pro fairgrounds at that ladder match. I thought I was gonna get chopped, but I was gonna say Jackson Morgan gave me a good one, and then of course the little girl at the audience, like Kelsey Rogers' kid, gave me one too. She was like, "Oh, I want to chop," and then wham! I was like, "Okay."
Hey, Jackson Morgan will lay a chop in too. I've seen him chop the hell out of some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got anything else, Dad?
No, I'm good.
Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so. I think that's about it.
All right. Yeah, you told everybody where Bobo Brazil Jr. has some deadly chops, says Bruce McGarty. Yeah, he does too.
Oh yeah, no.
Actually, I'm glad you said that, Bruce, because make sure everybody sends out prayers to Bobo. He was in the hospital
surgery this morning,
having surgery on his heart this morning. So prayers to Bobo and his family,
his wife, and all of his family.
Yeah, I saw a message this morning. It was Mike King. Mike King shared a message this morning about it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different people.
Let me ask you that real quick before we go. Have you ever thought about maybe trying to get in DCCW? Have you?
Yeah, actually, I thought about it too because like I know Mike King's nephew. Me and him used to work at an electronics store in Fishers. And we were, he was telling me about his uncle. He was like, yeah, my uncle wrestles. Like, oh yeah, who's your uncle? He's like, Mike King. I was like, and I looked up some of his matches, and I was like, Mike King's really good too. And and that's another promotion I was also thinking about too that I forgot to mention. But yeah, I was gonna say DCCW is also another promotion I would love to wrestle at too.
Yeah, Marcus made a good point too. Or AACW in Kokomo is also another good promotion you might want to check out.
Yeah, that was another one too that people.
I think they're done for this year, but they'll start back up in probably January or February, something like that.
Yeah.
But DCCW is like our home promotion because they were the ones that gave us our start. That's where the first place that we ever commentated at, and then Mike helped us get to AACW. He got us over to do a veteran show for WCWO, AACW. So I mean, yeah, Mike King's helped us a bunch get to different promotions. Hell, in a couple of weeks, we'll be going out of state for the first time.
Nice.
We're going to Cincy Wrestling.
Okay.
In Cincinnati, it's a pretty good card.
Yep.
Yeah, because I'm also noticing because like some of the wrestling promotions that I've been in, I feel like I was like, well, except for JICW, but I feel like some of the promotions I go to are I'm the only Hispanic luchador over there, which that's something I'm kind of proud of because which I feel like I could probably make history over there, but because I noticed a lot of them are from different states and stuff, and I'm like. And then realizing I'm the only kid, and I'm the only one in Indiana. The only
there's not. We haven't seen many Hispanic luchadors in Indiana, and we've been to what 30 something shows, over 30 something shows now that we've commentated at. Yep. So yeah, you're right. You don't see many Hispanic luchadors here in Indiana at all.
Yeah, that's also another goal too. Is because I was gonna say it actually and this is one of my favorite moments that I'll never forget was like I did a wrestling show in somewhere like in a baseball park, and we set up there and everything, and I come out there and like I didn't there was like like at least five Hispanic kids came up to me. Like these guys have never been I never like these guys were so happy, like they were so proud of it because like I came out because like all I did was like come out with a Casey Jones mask and a kick-ass entrance music and everything, and but when they saw like the Mexican flag that was like tied on my belt loop and everything, these kids lost it. These guys were like, oh my god, like you're Mexican too, I'm Mexican myself, and this is awesome. Like I'm actually happy to see someone that that represents our country and everything. And so and it's one of the moments that I'll never forget because I just made like five kids happy, and they felt proud of who they are and what their heritage are.
Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. We both networks greatly appreciate it. Like and follow us on Facebook and Twitch as well. You can find me doing a show usually from about 9 in the morning all up to about midnight most days. I do I have 4 or 5 shows going on every day between wrestling. We cover about all sports. We do UFC stuff. So please hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. Follow Casey Grimm Santos on Facebook as well. Support him. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Come back. You're welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you.
And, sounds like we'll see you here in a couple weeks at New Era.
Absolutely.
All right. Everybody have a good night.
Yeah, we appreciate all the support. Everybody watching. Everybody have a great night, and we will see you guys next time on GWR Live.